I tell a lot of my clients on the hygiene side, after you do scaling and root cleaning, anything that's a heavy procedure, you should be performing some type of cleaning to the lines. And so if your suction lines, your evacuation system is not working properly, you're not mitigating and removing all of that potentially dangerous aerosolized biofilm from the dental water line. Super easy, very intentional kind of design for dental professionals because they understand that we don't have a lot of time. We can't sit there and watch the solution and watch the dispenser. We can't, watch the whole process happen. And so they really designed it in a way to make it super easy for the hygienist to maintenance their evacuation lines.
Yeah, this is a tale, oh yeah, a tale of two hygienists. So there might be only one, bringing the best of dental knowledge, and we do it all with ease. We cover oral health and screening, and preventing gum disease. We're gonna do a lot of learning, and have a little bit of fun working at the dentist. A tale of two hygienists.
Happy Saturday, everyone, and welcome into this bonus episode brought to you in part by Air Techniques. And everyone, this was a truly delightful one. It's so much fun. It's always great working with India Chance on podcasts or projects or whatever, because she has a way of taking a topic that's maybe a little bit more serious. Infection control is really serious. Clearing our evacuation lines, also very serious. But at the same time, she makes it fun and uplifting, kind of lightening that mood that sometimes other people can present with. She's just really good at it, gives us a true path of application, and just very practical and real. I love that about her. I would say one of her objectives here for this episode, and it's probably more my opinion, but is to help you make sure that you're doing the right thing, but to make it easier and better. I think she says a little bit later that one of the main goals she's trying to achieve is to help you find time to finish your notes or take a quick break, doing something, multitasking, being able to make your life easier, but without taking extra steps. So you're going to love this episode. She has some great tips to keep your lines clear with the clean stream system. Also, she mentions it at the very end about free samples. So be sure to head over to that website. It's airtechniques.com/samples. And I think that's it. So sit back and enjoy this episode with India Chance.
A tale of two hygienists.
Welcome, everyone, into the interview portion of the podcast. We are joined again by, well, I don't know if it's again because I don't know what sequence all these episodes. If you listened to her once before, it's India Chance again. But welcome back, India.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here again. I always have a fun time with you guys here on this podcast.
We could record the stuff that we were just talking about.
Yeah, let's
so
not
much
do
fun.
that. We all still need to work.
Yeah,
so
now we
gotta
be a professional.
Yeah, exactly.
Air Techniques, we're kicking a bucket.
Exactly.
Which sounds
yes.
deathly.
Kick the bucket when
Kick
you're
the bucket.
attending.
Yes, we're kicking the bucket. Yes, that that kind of relates to what I wanted to talk about today, and for your listeners, about evacuation lines and maintenance and cleaning and all of that good stuff. These are the lines that are going to suction. We typically call them suction lines. And so these are the lines that are going to pull everything away from the patient. And so, yes, they can be dirty little critters. Can be, they are really.
Just
it's interesting.
those
Things are
sewer
crawling
lines.
in there and
But
everything.
it doesn't matter because it's not going into their mouth, right?
Right. So
They don't have to be clean.
So they say. No, lots of research that shows that evacuation lines are heavily contaminated. CDC actually released a recommendation years ago about not having your patient close their mouth onto the suction lines because of backflow. And backflow is just basically a process where the patient, when their mouth is closed, they're pulling one way and the suction line is pulling the other way. And that combination can actually loosen up some of the bacteria that's in the line and actually go into the patient's mouth. And so there's various different products on the market that can help with backflow. But I would say at a basic level, we need to make sure that we're cleaning those lines so that we don't really have those issues, you know.
I feel like from a doctor's perspective, it's all about maintenance and
Sure.
not having to end up paying more later on
Exactly.
as things that can clean through. But
Yeah.
from a hygiene perspective, we're all about the bugs and the gross
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of stuff. And
yeah.
then,
Absolutely. You bring up a good point, because when you do maintain the equipment, it's going to have a longer life. It's going to work properly. I mean, as a hygienist, and it is such a huge pain point for me when I go into an operatory and the suction's not working properly. It's not the best appointment for the patient. They're drowning, quote unquote, in the water. They're saying, suction, suction, suction. It also, when you have clean lines, it helps to mitigate the aerosols. And the reason why we want to mitigate aerosols is because there was a white paper that came out about the dental water lines and the biofilm that are in dental water lines. And so if your suction lines, your evacuation system is not working properly, you're not mitigating and removing all of that potentially dangerous aerosolized biofilm from the dental water lines. So it really, everything works in harmony together. So very, very important. And all manufacturers of evacuation systems tell you to clean those lines, on a regular basis. So, yeah.
There is something going around in dentistry for a lot of years is you only have to clean your suction lines after extractions.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And just with hot water at that point,
Yes.
too, right?
Right. Yeah. No. Really, a lot of the manufacturers tell you at least daily. You should be doing it daily. Yes, after heavy procedures. So in the restorative side, it would be an extraction, a surgery, something like that. I tell a lot of my clients on the hygiene side, after you do scaling and root cleaning, anything that's a heavy procedure, you should be performing some type of cleaning to the lines. Also, too, hygienists have to remember that we use the evacuation system and we remove a lot of, once we're done with prophy paste, and we're, rinsing out the mouth and all of that kind of stuff, we put that suction line right in there, right? And what happens is the prophy paste begins to build up, and there's a lot of buildup in the lines from that. We still have dental hygienists who are suctioning fluoride varnish, which is detrimental to your evacuation system, and very costly. Walked into offices where the dentist has had to pay for, the dental supply tech to come in and blow out the lines, and it can be very costly. So it just really hinders. Not taking care of the equipment in your operatory really hinders you from delivering high quality care and safer dentistry. So
And that's going to lead to burnout. You're going to start to hate your job. You're going to hate to not want to go into work.
Yeah.
Blame the patients.
Yeah, exactly.
Do all that stuff.
Yeah. It all like contributes to, like you said, burnout. It's a stressful day. It's harder. The equipment's not working. When the equipment doesn't work, the appointments take longer. It's not efficient. And by the end of the day, you're like, I'm done. I'm looking for another career.
Then I yell
And
at
what's
my
my
kids when I
side
get
gig?
home
Yeah.
because my kids have been acting up again.
Right. All from those clogged evacuation lines.
So
It's
thank
so
you, Air
frustrating.
Techniques, for keeping my family together.
Exactly. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's the tagline
exactly.
for this one.
Exactly.
So most offices, we have a bucket under the sink.
Right.
And it's got sometimes some little attachments so that it can
Sure.
slowly get the solution going through.
Right.
It's been recommended to me by the techs that come in to pulse the suction in and out of the liquid, because that causes I don't know if that helps.
Sure.
But how is Air Technique better? What are they doing that's different?
So one of the unique things that Air Techniques has is their clean stream dispenser. And so it is really important to use a dispenser when you are cleaning your evacuation lines. Typically, offices have a old disinfectant container. They don't throw that away, and they just throw some liquid in there, or they use an empty gallon milk jug or distilled water jug, or they'll cut off the top, and that's going to be what they use. The concern with that is the way when you put the evacuation lines into those types of dispensers, right, these buckets, what happens is they pull the cleaning solution into the line in a way where it's kind of like it just will pull in and it will only clean like one surface inside of the evacuation line tubing, right? Using a dispenser like the Clean Stream dispenser from Air Techniques, it has attachments on the dispenser that pulls the water in a circular motion, and so instead of like just a straight line. And the benefit of pulling in the liquid in a circular motion, they call it a vortex, is it actually allows the cleaning solution to touch the entire inside of that tubing. So it doesn't create like a pinhole effect with the buckets. It's kind of like a clogged artery. So if you're not cleaning out the inside, anything that you're suctioning in from your patient, it's hard. It's going to take longer to go through that tube. So same with like a clogged artery, right? The blood, once the more buildup you have inside of your arteries, it's harder for the blood to flow. And so, that's kind of a picture. They have a great video on their website to kind of give you a visual. They do like a comparison, a bucket versus, their dispenser. And so what you find is using a dispenser like the Clean Stream dispenser, you're able to keep the lines cleaner, which means you have stronger suction. And then you're able to mitigate the aerosols the way that you need to. And then you're providing a safer visit for you and your patients. So that is the reason why everybody should be using a dispenser for, evacuation line cleaning.
Well, I mean, they talk about it a lot. Anytime you're doing application, like you think about your car, when you're cleaning your car and you do that kind of like circular overlapping multiple times, it's because you're going to get it clean. You're going to take the next layer off, take the next layer off, and it's just going to help build all the way through.
Right.
Or apply a nice little turtle wax to my car.
Exactly.
Wax on, wax off, buddy.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And so is it easy for the clinician? You're done with your patients. You're just, you have just a few minutes. And now how is Air Techniques making this easy for us to do?
Well, one of the new features on their dispenser that they just kind of debuted here at this conference is the attachment to the actual Clean Stream container. It's hands-free. And so it's always been hands-free, but they did a little adjustment to the attachments to now they are actually, it's all one piece. So you literally can connect your high speed and your low speed at the same time, walk away, finish, disinfecting your room, go type up your notes, go whatever else you need to do. Go grab a drink, go to the bathroom, whatever you need to do. So it makes it a lot easier. One of the other nice features about their dispenser is you can fill it to clean 2 rooms. So if, let's say you're doing assisted hygiene or you work out of 2 operatories, you just kind of fill it once and then it has measurements on the side of it, very easy to use, very simple instructions, and you can basically clean 2 rooms. They have a great cleaning solution, which is great, and it is recommended by manufacturers that you use some form of a cleaning solution and not just hot water in a bucket.
Why are you looking at me for that?
Trying to melt that fluoride.
Exactly.
That's what
Exactly.
So, okay, tell me more. So if I wanted to clean 2 rooms, say I'm actually working out of 2 ops, end of the night or end of the day, can I still walk away or do I have to watch? And halfway down.
It will actually stop. Yes, so the way that their dispenser is made, it will actually stop once it's cleaned. It gets to a certain point. It will clean the lines and the solution and everything. And then you will turn the dispenser on its side. You'll take it to the other room, you'll turn it on its side, and then it will continue to clean the second operatory. So super easy, very intentional kind of design for dental professionals because they understand that we don't have a lot of time. We can't sit there and watch the solution and watch the dispenser. We can't, watch the whole process happen. And so they really designed it in a way to make it super easy for the hygienist to maintenance their evacuation lines. Yeah.
For the liquid, the solution that they're creating, is there a recommendation on what products we use for that?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely want to use a cleaning solution, okay? That's professional grade, made from an actual manufacturer.
So like Fabuloso would work? Or?
No. Dental evacuation systems, manufacturer. You want to use a cleaning solution, not hot water and soap and things like that. The reason why you don't want to use like a Fabuloso, obviously it's off-label. It's not meant to, clean evacuation systems. You don't want to damage the equipment, so that's why it's important. Air Techniques does a great job. They are a manufacturer of evacuation systems, so they're kind of like the one-stop shop. They have created their own solution to maintenance their equipment, right? So yeah, the hot water, you have to be careful with that. You have to be careful with like tablets that foam and things like that, because that can damage your evacuation system. So
that was all the rage before, though. The
I
foaming
know. And then there's some on the market that are powdered that you mix with water and things like that. In my experience, and this isn't to knock, any other company, but in my experience, what I've found with those is that a lot of clinicians don't follow the manufacturer instructions for use for the mixing and all of that. And so what tends to happen with powdered solutions is they just fall to the bottom. And then really the only thing that's being pulled through those evacuation lines is water, because it's all kind of settled. It's like a sediment at the bottom. It takes a very long time for it to dissolve into the water. So, and again, we don't have a lot of time. We're trying to move on. At the end of the day, I'm tired, you're tired, I want to get out of there. So using a liquid cleaner is most ideal for that.
And clinicians are more likely to do it if it's easy and they don't have to mix it up.
Right. And again, what's really nice about Air Techniques dispenser is all of the directions really are kind of on, for the recipe, are on the dispenser. So it's very user-friendly, very easy and quick. Yeah.
Awesome. And so say we have an office with 8 operatories. What would you suggest for the person that's doing the ordering? What would you suggest for dispensers?
I would say that you could probably get away with 4 dispensers. If you have 8 operatories, 1 dispenser can really handle 2 operatories. For those that might be on more of a budget, certainly you might want to alter the daily schedule. So if you have 8 operatories and from a budget perspective, you're like, okay, we can only get 2 dispensers, then what you'll want to do is just alter the time, at what time of the day that you perform the cleaning of the lines. But really, with this dispenser, it goes very quickly. Again, it's hands-free. You're walking off. It's not going to take up that much more time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And so you're recommending this daily, unless you do a procedure that's more messy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. I would definitely recommend it daily. If you can do it, ideally at the end of the day. One other cool thing that I've learned from kind of getting into this is it's also depends on the order of how you clean the operatories. So for instance, there's some operatories that are closer to the main evacuation system than others, and other operatories are further away. And so what I always recommend to all of my clients is do it in a particular order so that you can keep the flow, right? The pull, everything, the flow of all of that stuff that we're taking out of patient mouths. You can keep that going. And so what I recommend is that you clean the room that is closest to the unit first, and then you go to the next operatory and the next and the next. So by the time you get to the 5th operatory, it's a straight shot. It's all clean, and then it can get right through and suctioned in, all that cleaning solution, everything like that. Because a lot of times what happens is the way some dental practices are built, everything kind of pulls a lot of times from operatory 3, 4, and 5 down at 1, which is closest to the unit, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but I never thought about that.
Yeah. This is something that I learned when I began to work with Air Techniques, and because I had clients and I'm like, what's going on? We're doing everything that they say to do. We're following all of the directions. We're still having some issues. And it wasn't until I kind of explored it a little bit more and worked with their tech a little bit more. And I was like, what? And he began to explain a lot of this has to do with how the practice was actually built, the pipes and things like that. So what I recommend is if you are still having some issues, make sure that you are doing it in that order. So closest to the evacuation system, and then work your way up. And be patient, because this is a very conservative way to kind of clean out your evacuation system. So you have to give it's about 3 to 4 months of doing it daily. Then after a while, because you've got to break up all that buildup, you've really got to like work with it. We've got to be a little bit patient with it. If after 3 or 4 months you're still having some issues, then maybe it's another problem. You need to get professionals in there to take a look at it. But yeah, I mean, with my clients, I've had a lot of success when we've changed the order of things. It's taken them about 3 months, but they definitely see benefits from it.
Great tip.
I feel like I need to call my last practice and be like, hey, that was the problem that we were having, by the way. Because we had on this side of the building, it was 5 operatories.
Yeah.
And then there was like a couple in the back there. And then there's ortho bay on this other side, right?
Yes.
And so you're trying to like manage everyone's like.
Exactly.
This
on one
like
system.
almost like a Y system, you know?
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
Oh,
and it's kind of like a bottleneck, really, is what happens, right? And so it all just pulls there. And then it's also really common for hygiene operatories to have like bad suction. I mean, it's just really bad. And so sometimes
that's the fluoride, though. Come on.
And the
Freaking
Prophy paste and stuff,
and
right?
the Prophy paste
and the
trap.
Prophy paste.
I'm kind of surprised you keep saying about Prophy paste. I would have thought just that it's gritty and it's gonna like Prophy paste its way through the clean
it's
the
going to
system.
scrub the
Like,
tubing.
we don't need an evacuation system in our hygiene rooms. We've got Prophy paste going through there.
Doesn't work like that. It
accumulates.
Yeah, it accumulates, and it can.
Well, it's actually really gummy though too.
It is after a while. And then it creates. You're funny. And then that biofilm matrix starts to create and form with all of that nice. Used Prophy paste. So
all those chunks of calculus too.
Right, exactly. So it's a really delicious kind of situation going on in these evacuation lines. So yeah, that's why never close your mouth on a a suction tip, right? Exactly.
Well, I think everyone listening is going to be really excited to try this, but I know there's a lot of hesitation with hygienists. Like we don't want to invest money and time and all of that into something that's maybe not, whatever.
Right.
So is there a way they can get, try it out first?
Yeah, absolutely. Air Techniques has a great page on their website. It's airtechniques.com/samples with an S. And you can get actually a sample of their cleaning solution for the evacuation line. So that's pretty nice that you can do that. Yeah, it is. So you don't have to necessarily invest. And then they do have, you can check with your rep in your area because sometimes they're able to offer you a complimentary Clean Stream starter kit. So that would come with like the dispenser, but you have to check your area with your rep and everything like that. But definitely go to their website and check that out to see and get yourself a sample because that would be great.
It's a reason to be like best friends with your rep.
Exactly. Yes.
Because sometimes it's only allotment. Like, okay, they have 10 that they can do, but they have 500 offices that they cover. It's like, be best friends with your rep if you want the cool stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you go to that page, though, they have samples of all their other stuff, too. So it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Thank you for being here, India.
Thank you guys for having me. This was fun.
You have to come back again.
Exactly.
You made evac lines fun.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Kick the bucket.
Yes. Kick the bucket, guys. Kick the bucket.
Yeah, this is a tale, oh yeah, a tale of two hygienists. So there might be only one, bringing the best of dental knowledge, and we do it all with ease. We cover oral health and screening, and preventing gum disease. We're gonna do a lot of learning, and have a little bit of fun working at the dentist. A tale of two hygienists.